Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Today we are going to discuss about the physical properties of milk. So these are one of important chapter under the course dairy chemistry. In the previous video, we have captured different lessons, starting with course description, followed by introduction to dairy chemistry and factor affecting the chemical composition of milk. Hope uh, yeah you got important information or lesson from the previous video. So with the same practice, I think let's discuss with the physical properties of milk. So when we talk about the physical properties of milk, it has both theoretical as well as practical implication, especially those who are engaged with milk and milk product business. So there are different practical tips we are going to discuss under this topic one by one. So when we come to the physical properties of milk, so I think let me say something about the composition of milk. So milk is uh, so milk is a complex biological fluid. I have already indicated from the previous video because it contains more than 100,000 different molecules in several states of dispersion. Okay, so under several states of dispersion, we can find different molecules in milk, so milk is complex over ordinary fluid like water. But majority of these components has not been identified, except so the major component milk like milk protein, milk fat, lactose, and minerals can be separated and isolated from milk relatively very easily. So meaning, so in which majority of the milk components are still not yet identified from milk. So the physical properties of milk are similar to that of water. So anyways, in general, the physical properties of milk is similar to water, but it is modified by the presence of various solutes like protein, so lactose, as well as salts. So anyways, the physical properties of milk are similar, but so the major thing is that cause different properties observing in milk is due to these various solutes like milk protein, lactose, and salt. So in general, water is a continuous phase. So the other constituents are either they are dissolved, suspended, or emulsified. So usually these classifications are based on particle size, especially the particle size of fat globules are larger than any other component of milk, followed by milk protein. So the rest, lactose, minerals are so their size of particles are very small. So because of this reason, we can classify these constituents of milk in this form. Anyways, through continuous feed, so the components are either they are suspended, emulsified, or dissolved form. So I think later on I will discuss each and every these important terms. So anyways, so milk is a complex biological fluid because it contains a different type of molecule. So this molecule either they can disperse in dissolved form, a suspended particle, or emulsified form. So in general, the physical properties of milk are similar to water. So, but it's modified by the presence of these various solutes like protein, lactose, and salts. So without this component, so milk and water are the same. So when it comes to emulsion, because milk contain over 100,000 different molecules. Some of the molecules are found in emulsion. So emulsion is simply nothing. Milk is a homogeneous dispersion of two dissimilar immiscible liquids. So we can observe, for example, if take the features of water and fats and they are not the same, but they are living together. Okay, one is not completely dissolved with others, but they are living together. I think so. In this case, one of the most important component is milk fat. So the size of this milk fat is 0.1 up to 22 micrometer. So the size of this fat globules, fat exists in the form of fat globule membrane. So that globules are It's a kind of droplet, very, very small to be seen in our naked. So because of this reason, they are kind of ultra microscopic droplet. So this droplets are surrounded by fat globule membrane. So these fat globules and membranes are made by phospholipids and protein. So these are very, very important to find milk fat suspended over this water solution. So this is, I think, the basic theory behind immersion. So when we talk about immersion, it is directly aligned with milk fat. So milk is a homogeneous dispersion of two dissimilar immiscible liquid phases or suspension of droplets of one liquid in another. So there are two important issues. So that milk and butter. So milk is oil is dispersed in water, or milk is immersion of oil in water. Look, for example, if you look at this picture, so the tiny droplets are these droplets are milk fat, so the rest are water. So I think these oils are dispersed in water, right? So we can find dispersed form. In case of milk, the same is true for in cream. But in case of butter, so the phases are inverted. So if you look at the yellow part is milk fat, so the droplets are in the water. So the water is dispersed over what? Oil. So that's why the phase is inverted. So in case of butter, so the water is dispersed in oil. Butter is an immersion of water in oil. So because of this phase inversion. So I think this is one of the most important issue related with this immersion. So anyways, one of the most important issue in this case is particle size. So in general, milk fat is the lightest as well as largest component of milk. When compared with any other component of milk, milk fat is one of the largest component of milk component. So when it comes to the next, that is colloidal phase. So the portion of milk containing dispersed particle ranging in diameters of 10 raised to 4 to 10 raised to 6 millimeter. So the size are very, very smaller than the previous one. So anyways, a very good example of this colloidal solution is protein. It could be casein or whey protein when the matter exists in a state of dispersion to that of the true solution. So anyways, this colloidal solution when the matter exists in a state of dispersion intermediate to true solution. Example, for example, if we take sugar in water and suspension, example, chalk in water. So suspension is chalk in water, especially sugar in water is forming a true solution. So this is we call it colloidal solution or suspension. So a very good example is whey protein and casein. So in general, milk protein can be visible by electron microscope. It is not expected to observe via our naked. So through electron microscope, so we can observe such kind of picture. Almost all protein we can find in this casein metal. So anyways, this one is the most important classification is they are depending on this particle size. Anyways, this colloidal solution, so the size particle is 10 raised to minus 4 to that of 10 raised to minus 6 millimeter. Even the size are very, very small when compared with the fat globules. So the next one is the true solution. So I think some of the components are we can find in those dissolved form. So because of this reason, so matter when mixed with water or other liquid, so they form the true solution. So the true solution contain lactose, vitamins, acids, enzymes, and some inorganic salts because majority of these inorganic salts are associated with casein, but still some of these inorganic salts are true solution. So the size of the particles are even very smaller than the previous one. So 10 raised to minus 6 up to 10 raised to minus 7 millimeter in diameter. So anyways, so these are so milk contain different molecules found in different states of dispersion. Some of them are in immersion, some of them are in true solution, some of them are in suspension. Especially a very good example of suspension is protein. In true solution is lactose, vitamins, and acid. While in case of immersion is milk fat. Anyways, this classification in general based on the size of the particle. So in case of true solution, so they forming uniform So the next one is feature of clean or desirable milk. So this one is the base for processing. So I think without clean and desirable milk, we are not expect to manufacture or process different type of product. So again, this one is also important to consume milk. So milk is the whole and clean lactose secretion of one or more uh, healthy cow. So this one is one important desirable features of milk. So when talk about the clean and desirable milk, so it fulfill I think this criteria. Okay, so milk is so the whole and lactal secretion of one or more healthy cow. That's one important features of this clean or desirable milk. Look, second one is milk is good taste and flavor. So one of the most important desirable features of milk is so especially so organoleptic taste. So we can check whether the milk is desirable taste or flavor. So this one is also another good features of milk again, free from foreign materials. For example, if we take, we are observing different foreign materials in milk. For example, if we take hairs, glasses, uh, dirt are we are observing. Sometimes flies are also observing in milk. All these are categorized in foreign milk. So as much as possible, milk should be free of foreign material. So that's why we are especially using machine clothes to filter different foreign particles from milk when transferring of milk one can to another milking can. So the other issue is so less number of bacteria and the bacteria should not be harmful. So of course, so impossible to avoid microorganisms through milk, but as much as possible. So we need to be minimize their number. So meaning we need to be follow hygienic practice during production as well as subsequent handling of milk. So again, so these bacteria, regardless of their number, should not be harmful. For example, if we take a milk contain less number of bacteria but contain pathogenic microorganism, means that so the milk is not desirable features and may not fulfill the desirable or the clean features of milk. So this is not fulfill the criteria. So as much as possible, so the number of bacteria should be very limited again. So the bacteria we can find in milk is should not be harmful for consumer. So again, milk is excluding 50 days before and 5 days after calving. So 15 days before the animal giving birth and 5 days after the animal having birth. So this milk is categorized under cholesterol. So it contains a high amount of immunoglobulin. So because of this reason, it is not withstand heat, I think, to process milk to different type of products. So because of this reason, so this milk will also not meet so criteria or the features of clean or desirable milk. So I think these are some important issue need to be considered when you talk about the clean and desirable milk. So So another important topic is the physical properties of milk. So when talk about the physical property of milk, it consists of color, meaning organoleptic taste like color. Flavor is also included under the physical property. pH, specific gravity, freezing point, and boiling points are some other important characteristics of milk. So some of them are very important that to detect it, adulteration. For example, if you take specific gravity of milk, so the other one is freezing point is also very sensitive taste, especially when small drop of milk is small drop of water is uh, included in milk. So I think this is very sensitive taste. I think to detect this adulteration. Specific gravity also has the same value, but when talk about sensitivity, so freezing point is a bit better than that of specific gravity. So the other issue is the specific gravity, of course, sensitive to temperature. So temperature and composition are directly affect this specific gravity. So boiling point is also another important features. pH. So the normal pH of milk is known. When the pH is lower and higher, has its own implication. So as much as possible, I think we'll try to discuss all of those issues, I think, later on. So anyways, these are influenced by the composition of milk. So, so this has also these are also great importance in the processing as well as tasting of milk adulteration. So I think the major reason we are discussing about the physical properties are so they are also implication of milk processing again, and there's also implication for adulteration. So I think this one is that's why these are very important, especially those who are engaging in the milk business.